Good morning, everybody. This is Michael from Nibiru News and from someone'sbones.com. I don't have any real sourced story to read today. I'm just going to put out my opinions on some information from stories that I happened to come across last night and yesterday that I thought might be of interest to people out there. Anyway, so yesterday, NASA revealed that back in 2013, a meteor struck the moon. No big deal, anybody would think. There are cosmic entities, objects flying through space all the time, striking wherever and whatever planets out there. But what I find highly unusual is that this happened back in 13, and NASA at the time, for whatever reason, felt it necessary to classify this information top secret and held it until yesterday or the day before when the information went public. Now, why is that? Now, I do not care what anybody thinks about Nibiru. Whether you believe Nibiru is real, whether you do not believe Nibiru is real, whether you think Nibiru is a planet, just a brown dwarf, or as most sources believe, it is actually a solar system consisting of a brown dwarf star and 7 orbiting planets. Forget all that. I think one thing we can all agree upon is that NASA, which stands for Never a Straight Answer, has conspired with the government to keep a lot of information secret, not just about Nibiru, not about other things going on in the world. I'm talking about the secret space program and everything else out there that NASA wants to keep close to its chest and not divulge the information. But I do believe that the government likes to tease people, kind of like a social experiment, putting out a little information here and there, checking to figure out the pulse of the nation, how people will react to certain information being exposed publicly instead of being kept secret. And I think this right here might be the case. Otherwise, I wholly believe NASA would have kept this information to themselves. So, back in 13, apparently this meteor struck the moon, and NASA decided to keep it confidential because they are evil and sinister. And I'm just going to read a little bit of the article here and then offer some of my own thoughts and my own conclusions on what might be going on. So, a meteor flying through space with the combustible power of 10 cruise missiles. Okay, 10 cruise missiles, not that powerful. Trump launched 59 cruise missiles against, allegedly, and people that know me know I have high doubts that this actually happened, against that airfield in Syria a few months ago. And you can check my stories and see where my thoughts and my sources talk about that. Anyway, the meteor allegedly hit the moon in a 56,000 mile per hour collision and was captured on film, which NASA hid, that hoped to highlight the catastrophic danger that planet Earth faces if a similar meteor were to hit civilization. Despite the meteor's tiny proportions, which was size, okay, these people do not know good grammar on this website, which was size of a small boulder at around 88 pounds and the weight of a 10-year-old child, the impact zone damage was colossal, and the explosion was comparable visibly to the brightness of a magnitude 4 star. Okay, that is true, the brightness. When I looked at the images, it certainly was bright. But people that accuse me of being sensationalist, this here sounds a lot more flamboyant than anything that I ever put out there. NASA claims a similar strike at the same speeds from a tiny object against a city on Earth would create a crater 65 feet deep. Not only would the impact be devastating, but the kill zone equivalent to 10 Tomahawk cruise missiles at a target in exactly the same space. Alright, so that is just one here piece, and it's a Goldwater. I honestly don't know what website this is. I just searched several out there looking for information on this, and it's on CNN. Sorry, I'm going to get to that later. Okay, I said G20. Wrong one. And Daily Star. Apocalypse alert. Biggest moon explosion in history sparks NASA doomsday fears. And a bunch of images here. And basically the same information. And a lot of ads and garbage there too. The reason that I am bringing this up is that we don't know what is on the horizon right now. And I think that the meteors and asteroids are a serious problem for our planet. And I am basing my opinion on information I have received, and if you have listened to my stories or articles from sources that have worked with NASA or the Russian Space Agency, these are people that feel that Nibiru is real, but the greatest threat to Earth is not from Nibiru itself, but from a countless number of asteroids and meteorites accompanying the Nibiru system. Now, you can have your own opinion on this. It doesn't offend me at all, no matter what anybody else thinks. But I do believe that we are likely to experience the effects of these cosmic interlopers, entities, whatever you want to call them, before Nibiru itself ever becomes fully visible or has a chance to affect the Earth completely. And I'm just scrolling through the pictures here. Some of this stuff is old, some is new, but a lot of jargon here going on. Now, I think that the government and NASA, maybe that somebody within the government is trying to put a little bit of information out there, trying to see how we all react and how we absorb this information. You know, there is no chance, I believe right now, that a full disclosure is coming. And I might report that, and that information is based on information that I receive from sources that I deem to be credible, but those are never my personal opinions. Those are the opinions of people that I deem to be experts in their field of study, people whose credentials I have seen and vetted, and I put that out there for people to view and look at with a critical mind, critical thinking, to make their own opinions. My own opinion right now is that full disclosure of Nibiru will not come until the dark star and its orbiting planets are fully visible in our night sky, and honestly, personally, I do not know when that will be. But I believe at this time that A, Nibiru is real, B, that it is a solar system into itself with the brown dwarf star, with its own planets, and that it is coming toward us at this time. That is my personal opinion. Everybody holds their own. But for any, whatever you believe, there is a reason that NASA is putting this out now, and none of us know that reason. If I get information from somebody that I can connect with within that organization that actually has legitimate information about it, I will put it out there. But until then, everything is purely speculation. But I do find it concerning that why NASA would have captured this information 4 years ago and then kept it highly confidential, top secret, for that amount of time, and only now cares to put it out there. As you can see here, it happened on September 11th, 2013. That is a long time ago. And if I have any information wrong here, I'll be happy to accept corrections from people. I am not perfect, and as I have always said, anybody, and I mean anybody who reports about Nibiru or any other controversial topic out there is subject to disinformation. I try my best to vet my sources, get the best information, the most timely information, so that I can put it out there for people to listen to. And that's all I'm going to say on that right now. And on another topic, as a lot of people know, yesterday Trump and Putin had their first official face-to-face meeting at the G20 in Hamburg. For anybody that has followed my website for any length of time or watched my videos, you know that I have received information contrary to what the mainstream media is pushing out there. And I firmly believe that Trump and Putin have met before, face to face, to discuss the potential of a looming Nibiru disaster. And now I am getting information that arguably the two most powerful men in the world met behind closed doors at the G20, and they did discuss the potential Nibiru disaster in the future. I am waiting on corroborating information before I actually write a story on it. But I found it interesting that yesterday evening I got from one of my sources, who happens to be a licensed private investigator and a former Secret Service agent who had worked within both the Obama and Trump administrations, who allegedly got some information from a Trump aide who was in Hamburg with them, stating that Trump and Putin did, in some capacity, discuss the Planet X situation. And if I get when I get more information on that, and I am hoping I get that today, and I can get a story out on that tomorrow. But we'll see how things go. Everything is tentative. Everything is, when it comes to Nibiru, Planet X, everything is very fluid out there, and it's very hard to pin things down. But my goal is always to get the best information, the most timely information that I think might be informative to the people that want to tune in and open their minds. So, thank you all who take the time to listen to my stories. And I hate these advertisements that show up on these web pages. They're kind of a waste of time. That listen to my information out here. Have a great weekend and a great day. It's kind of a stormy day here today in the Adirondacks. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'll talk to you tomorrow, I hope, or if not, within the next day or two after that. Mike from the Bureau News, someonesbones.com, signing out. Ciao, people.